on January 18, 1970, and both freshmen at West Virginia University disappeared. They were last seen hitchhiking back to their dorm on the WVU campus after going to see the film Oliver at the Metropolitan Theater in downtown Morgantown. WV. The girls were seen getting into a cream-colored sedan on Willie Street, a couple of blocks from the theater. Their bodies were found 4 months later on April 16, 1970. Both women had been decapitated and their heads have never been recovered. There have been numerous persons of interest in the case, and one man was convicted on the murders in 1976. But many people, including key investigators in the case, believe the true perpetrator has never been found. The missing girls, Karen and Maude, were last seen alive by two of their friends, Clarence Lewis and Paulette Burns. The boys ran into Karen and Maude during intermission of the movie showing, and sat with them for the rest of the show. After the movie ended, the 4 WVU students walked toward Willie Street, where Karen and Maude decided to hitchhike back to campus. Paulette saw the two girls get into a cream-colored sedan. Clarence didn't see the girls get into the car, but did see them inside the car as it drove past him. It would be the last time the girls were seen alive, despite the fact the girls were reported missing to police only a few hours after they were last seen. The police didn't take the girls' disappearance very seriously at first, assuming that they had left of their own accord, despite the fact that the girls' friends and family insisted neither Maude nor Karen were the type of person to just up and leave without letting anyone else know. The first trace of the girls wasn't found until March, when a kid picking up soda bottles along US 119 found Marin's purse discarded about 50 feet off the road. The triangle letters. On April 8, 1970, West Virginia State Police received an anonymous letter postmarked from Cumberland, Maryland, regarding the women's disappearance. The letter was signed only with a triangle. The letter was dated April 6 and read, "Gentlemen, I have some information on the whereabouts of the bodies of the two missing West Virginia University co-eds, Maude Malarik and Karen Ferrell. Follow directions very carefully, to the north degree, and you cannot fail to find them. Proceed 25 miles directly south from the southern line of Morgantown. This will bring you to a wooded forest land. Enter into the forest exactly 1 mile. There are the bodies. 25 plus 1 equals 26 miles total. Will reveal myself when the bodies are located. Sincerely, The state police received a second letter, dated April 10, which arrived shortly after the first was published in the newspapers. Like the first letter, it was postmarked Cumberland, Maryland, and was signed with a triangle. It read, "Gentlemen, I saw the article in this morning's newspaper concerning my previous letter on the missing two co-eds. If you reread my first letter carefully, you will see the directions were specific: direct south from the city, meaning the southern limit of Morgantown, West Virginia. Straight south 25 miles you will come to a forest woodland. Enter in 1 mile. Fanning out you will locate the bodies of the girls covered over with brush. Look carefully. The animals are now on the move. Do trust this will help you out with exact location. Will still identify myself when bodies are located. Sincerely, By the time the letters arrived, there was increasing pressure from the public to take Karen and Maude's disappearance more seriously, and the governor of WV ordered a search for the girls based on the directions from the letters. The state police and the National Guard began a search, following the directions to the best of their abilities. While following the directions, the searchers did end up in woodland. But that's not particularly surprising given how heavily wooded West Virginia is. However, they did not find the bodies of Maude and Karen. While the directions provided in the letters did not result in the discovery of the bodies, some belongings of the girls were found during the course of the search, including Mared's sunglasses and Karen's purse and driver's license. The belongings were scattered, and most were found 50 to 75 feet off of the road. So it was unlikely they had been tossed from a car. 2 days later, on April 16, the girls' bodies were found, though not in the location indicated by the letter. Rather than 26 miles south of Morgantown, they were found about 11 miles south of the city, on the old Weirton Mine Road. Both had been decapitated. Triangle would send 2 more letters, one more to the state police, and one to the parents of Maude Malarik. Both would come after the women's bodies were found on April 16 and focused on directing searches to the locations of the missing heads. The third letter, dated April 21, and sent to the police read, "The heads can be found from the position of the bodies by striking out 10 degrees SW for the first head, and approximately 10 degrees SE for the second. Roughly 1 mile. You are already 7/10 of that mile. They are within the mine entrance if you can call it an entrance considering its condition. They are buried not over 1 foot in depth. The ones responsible for the murders scattered some of the girls' personal effects over the general area, creating a pattern of confusion making it difficult for you to pinpoint any exact location. My first 2 letters triggered your intensive search. Don't give up now. Asterisk. Sincerely. Asterisk. Asterisk asterisk. The final letter was dated April 28 and was sent to Mared's parents. I have sent 3 letters to the Morgantown State Police Department concerning your daughter Maude and Karen. The first and second were taken with some seriousness and instituted a search which was successful in locating 2 bodies minus the heads which were needed for other purposes. All of a sudden the police have been complaining about an error in the mileage stated in my second letter. Asterisk. After one has driven in an oval pattern for 26 miles under the weather condition of Jan. And under the involved circumstances, it is possible to make about an 18-mile error in the precise location of the bodies. Nevertheless, they were found south of Morgantown as stated in the letter, even to that which was called a logging lane or old mine road, in my opinion both the same. Asterisk. Police believed that Triangle was a very likely suspect in the murders of Maude and Karen, and investigation into some early suspects of the crime relied on this belief. However, one law enforcement officer was later able to use handwriting analysis to trace the letters back to 3 members of the Psychic Science Church, a small religious cult. The cult leader, Reverend Richard Warren Hoover, believed he could convene with spirits from another realm, and claimed the information in the letters was provided to him by one of these spirits during a séance. Ultimately, the letters were found to be nothing more than a macabre hoax perpetrated by this cult, and the 3 people involved in writing the letters was cleared of any involvement in Karen and Mared's murders, though the letters were eventually revealed to not be written by the killer. Police did focus early investigations on these letters, and even eliminated likely suspects based on handwriting analysis that did not match the letters. Many of these suspects were not followed up on even after the truth of the letters was revealed. The bodies. On April 16, 1970. The decomposing bodies of Mard Malarik and Karen Ferrell were found off the old Weirton Mine Road. The bodies were placed on top of each other. The body on the bottom was face up and the body on the top was face down. They were covered with flat rocks thought to have been brought over from a nearby creek bed. The rocks have been described as looking somewhat like tombstones. There was also but it's unclear whether it was placed there purposely. Both bodies were fully clothed in the same clothes they went missing in. And the women had been decapitated. Their heads were not and have never been found. By the time Mard and Karen's bodies were found, there had been a great deal of decomposition as well as predation from animals. So some clues were obviously lost to nature. Because of the state of decomposition, it could not be determined if the women had been sexually assaulted. However, both bodies were fully and neatly clothed, including shoes, gloves, and even a pack of cigarettes tucked into the waistband of Mared's jeans, which led some investigators to believe it unlikely that they had been sexually assaulted. There were a few items of clothing missing from the girls' bodies. Mared's fur-lined boots and Karen's fur coat. Both women had also been wearing necklaces when they disappeared, and these were also missing. The state of the bodies is one of the most baffling elements of this case.